One of the best career decisions I made in 2015, thanks to my lovely wide awake son, who was an absolute delight. He was such a smiley, jolly, contented, happy baby. He was just awake. He was awake the whole time. He was just like, he was one of those babies in the cot who would close their eyes and then you'd do that tiptoe thing. And then he'd just look at you and you're like, what do you want? Anyway, one of the best things that I accidentally did because of these circumstances was I made a decision in my career to give myself more time. Now, that does not necessarily fit in with me because even though I don't want to say like I'm like Veruca Salt, I'm not with anybody else, by the way, just with myself. I want it now. And I want the thing and I want to crack on and I'm really efficient and I love that energy. I love that fast paced thing. When I was an agent for 6 years, I loved that buzz, that dopamine hit of like, yeah, we're making moves and we're doing all the things. Great. Really, really loved it. So to then go into a vibe, a situation that my son had created, he altered the mood that it wasn't fast paced. It was like slow, we're doing this thing and we're just seeing how it goes. I had to alter the way that I ran my business and created and carved out my career. Meaning I had to, because I had another external person in my life that I needed to take care of, I gave myself more capacity. So what did this look like in reality? Well, this looked like giving myself more time. This looked like me doing what I could when I could do it, but then revisiting it when I could, rather than feeling like I had to dash something out really quickly. So when I work with clients, for example, I thought about, instead of saying like, I'll get that proposal off to you in the next hour, and then say my son woke up, I just thought, why don't I just say I'll give it to you by tomorrow? Because tomorrow still feels really close, but equally, I'm not approaching it from that place of panic and what if and oh my goodness, I've got to get this done. Because certainly he didn't then get the best of me either. And another thing that I did was, in terms of projects, in terms of progress, I gave myself more time. And this was very much, 2015 was very much, the conversation was write an ebook in a weekend, become a 7-figure business owner by a week on Tuesday. And I felt like I was doing something wrong. Because, it makes me feel emotional. It felt like I was doing something wrong because I was not at that pace and speed. But then I realized like it wasn't a personality default, like, oh, you've messed it up, you haven't done it wrong, you haven't nailed it. It was, you just have other external things. You're recovering from having a baby. You're figuring out what it's like to be a mum. And in my 3 and a bit, 100-day packages, it's really lovely to work with people for that amount of time one-on-one because it gives you space. It gives you capacity. It gives you that full permission to do things in a distinctly average way. What do I mean by this? And already you might be like, distinctly average? I am not a distinctly average person. But maybe your life and your circumstances and what's required of you at the moment, you can't be in that high performance state all the time because you don't have the resources, you don't have the sleep behind you, you maybe don't have a team to back you up. So, if anything, let's just dial down the pace a little bit, but commit to doing that pace for longer. And what I found, especially with the clients that have gone through this process, is as soon as I opened that up, it gave breathing space. it brought more creativity. It allowed people to be in this experimental place without feeling that pressure of like, oh my goodness, I'm getting it wrong. I'm doing all of the things. Is this going to work for me? And putting all that pressure, I've got to figure it out before the end of the day. And this sort of plays havoc with our minds sometimes, because the temptation is to feel like we should have been able to figure it out yesterday. You've got time. I promise you, you've got time. But I also want to invite you to spend 100 days on it, to see what can happen. And if you approach it from this, I'm going to do this in a very distinctly average way, when you go above that, when you've got energy, when you've got capacity, great. But equally, on those days where you need to take your foot off the gas, you can do that as well. If you want to find out more, you can come on over to my Work With Me page. I have a pay in full option. Maybe you prefer the payment plan as well, but I am welcoming people. I am welcoming people who are like, I'm ready. I'm ready to get started. It's a full experience. 100 days, we can track it together and really just see what is possible. For more information, go to that page, send me a message. Let me know what you want to do. Also, if there's two of you in a partnership, we can make this work. Maybe you want a different option. So many different ways we can work together. But let me know, first and foremost, what's on your list, what's cooking, what's going on, and I can help you make it happen. Lots of love. Bye.